Watch the vision.
You are now tuned into
It's your boy DJ Roscoe Board. You now tuned in to Watch the Vision Season 3. And man, we have a special guest in the building, man. We have this guy, man. He grew up with my big brother. Shout out to G Bravo, man. And I've been watching him ever since probably I was in grade 7, grade 8, man. And he been a boss from then. And it's just so solid to just watch him. I know he's been a boss from then. To see him now in society just be a real big boss, man. We have none other than the former pole marker, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated inside the alumni chapter of the Bahamas, man. And he bring even the undergrad chapter down, man. So shout out to him again, dog. You know what I mean? We have none other than my boy, Mr. Quinton Lightbourne. Big up yourself, Q.
What's up, man? What's up? Yo, thanks, man. Appreciate it, man, Roscoe.
Yeah, man. We got my boy in the building, man. So just going to chill out for a little minute, man, getting our conversation, man. But tune into the mix and you now locked in the Watch the Vision Radio. Yeah.
Watch the vision.
Nowhere could it be. Must be somewhere for me. I put about them in it desperately. Bam, bam. I wanna be loved, not for who you think I am, not what you want me to be. Could you love me for me? Real love, with those strings attached. I wanna give you my heart. Don't wanna take it back. And this is my chance. Been searching a long, long time for that so true love to comfort this heart of mine. No pretense, stop wasting my time. A virtuous woman is really hard to find. I'm telling you, lady, I'm only human, not looking for impossibility. Just a genuine woman with sincerity. Someone who is always there to hold me. Show me you care up front and boldly. Don't shun my feelings or the positive meanings of me morning, noon, all seasons. I wanna be loved, not for who you think I am, not what you want me to be. Could you love me for me? Real love, with no strings attached. I wanna give you my heart. Don't wanna, when every over of them think I push. What about to me? She must be somewhere out there. Nowhere could she be? Can't go, passionately in a love rhapsody. I'm like, waiting up for money, but you may not wait.
Where do you go? Don't you need my love, baby? Why can't you come on and let us play? When are you going to come my way? What sort of things they've been telling you? I got to stop them from compelling you, girl. They just won't stop me from getting you. Give me a try, 'cause I know that things will be great. Me or mine, don't deny. True love never dies, only creates. I'm gonna take you right there. Love for a lifetime. I'm gonna make your life so clear. Girl, gonna make you mine. I'm gonna take you right there. Love for a lifetime. I'm gonna make your life so clear. Gonna make you mine.
You heard it here first. Another exclusive track. Right now.
She doesn't want me around. She's got something to hide. I think she wants a clown, someone to take for a ride. But I keep telling her I'm too experienced to be taking for a stroll. Too experienced for someone to rock and roll. I'm too experienced to be taking for a ride. And I know it's not my foolish pride. She hates the sight of me because I turned her off her down. She always saying we were meant to be. Somehow she thought I'd be her clown. But this is what I said. I'm too experienced to not my foolish pride.
Oh, I miss those days. I miss those days. Remember the songs used to make you rock away. Those were the days when love used to reign. We danced all night to the songs they played. We can come again, do it just the same. Now I feel it in my heart. We in such a golden time at the party. Now there's hardly any safe place left to go. Someone's bound to come and try to spoil the show. Remember the songs used to make you rock away. Those were the days when love used to reign. You danced all night to the songs they play. We can come again. We do it just the same. I never can understand it, the way the system planned. There's no hope, no chance, no loophole, no escape for a sufferer man. 'Cause every time I lift my head above water and try to save myself from drown, there's an overnight scheme all worked out, designed to keep me down. Still I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. You know I'm putting up a resistance. I've gotta work it out. Window, no window. I wanna stay home tonight. I long to spend some time with the family, but staying home won't make it right. Sometimes the pressure make me feel like horror when every sign says no way out. Breaking my back to make an overtime dollar. That just goes from hand to mouth. Still I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. You know I'm putting up a resistance. I've got to work it out. Lord, I'm putting up resistance. I'm gonna work it out. You know I'm putting up resistance. I'm gonna work it out. Lord,
So yeah, man. So what's good, man? Cute, man. So, I've been knowing you since I was in high school. You know what I mean? But just tell the people like your journey. So, what high school did you come from, and when did you graduate?
Okay, then no problem, man. I went to, in my opinion, the best school in the East. I went to St. Anne's.
The best school in the East.
Yeah, man. The Blue Ridge,
The Blue Ridge.
I used to come a long way to go to St. Anne's. So I lived in the Jamaica, Flamingo Gardens area. So I used to go all the way to St. Anne's, So for me, I did love it. St. Anne's was definitely good to me. I think St. Anne's helped change my life. Before that, I used to go to Kingsway. And I went to Kingsway for I think 2 years. And I pretty much got thrown out of Kingsway, typical.
What you get thrown for, man?
But typical healthy young boy, man. Going to class late, not doing homework, ain't focused, playing in class, typical stuff like that. And if you in Kingsway, if you had so much demerits, you could get a suspension. And so, I did get suspended, I think, 2 times. And I didn't know on in certain terms. They pretty much tell me when me say, it's probably best, you don't come back.
Well, I knew was a rebel back in the day, man.
Well, I know that. I call that growth, man. I call it growth.
Yeah, that's a good word for it, man. So just tell us, after you got the Blue Waves, then what did you do after the Blue Waves? So you graduate what year?
I graduated 04. After
4. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same year as G Bravo. Mm-hmm. After that, then I went to COB. I went to COB for 2 years. When I was there, I was COBA's president my final year in 05, 06. And then I applied to my scholarship to go off to Lincoln in Philly. I went to Lincoln University in Philadelphia. I was fortunate enough at that time, after that growing period, I was able to balance myself, get it together, and I was able to get a scholarship to go to Lincoln University, and that's where I did finance and mining accounting.
Oh, you did finance and mining accounting. So Well, what do you do now then? So you graduated from Lincoln then, so then give us the journey on to what do you do now then? So how was that journey just coming home? Because I know when I came home, I think in about 2016, bro, I had a degree. I couldn't find a job. It take me at least 2 months to get something on my feet, you know what I mean? And I was like, mother sick, dog. What type of the world this is? So give us that journey, dog.
Listen, let me give you that journey because, you know, G Bravo will tell you, when I first came back home, man, I was saving up my money, whatever, when I was off to school because like, I was an RA and I was in student government when I went to Lincoln. So I had a couple of dollars saved. And so when I came back home, I bought a black BMW. First thing, as soon as I came home, I went straight.
So you say I coming out, balling out.
I coming out. So I bought my car. I going now, looking for a job. Wasn't able to find a job. I found a job as a conservation officer at BAF Financial. And that job is when you legit gotta call people who insurance lapse or who don't pay or who haven't paid their insurance and ask them, what happened to the insurance, why you ain't paying? So you could imagine the amount of cursing I used to get from that.
But you come off my phone, mate.
I know, that's the job I landed out of college, graduating with an honors degree from Lincoln, and like I used to tell G Bravo because G Bravo used to work across the street at Commonwealth Bank as a teller. And so afterwards, baby, lunch sometimes, baby used to be like, wait, what you doing? You know, we just sit out and talk, you know, as frat brothers and everything. And then so like, I mean, for me, I came out thinking I was supposed to be getting a certain amount of money. I remember graduating college degree, I was making $350 a week in Nassau. $350 a week with a whole degree, and I felt as if I was on top of the game. But I was fortunate enough after 8 months, I got a job at Credit Suisse in the wealth management department. That's an offshore bank. And so I was able to go there, learn a lot, be in a good environment. I stayed there for 5 years. So I learned everything what I needed to learn in the offshore banking sector. And then after that, I got an offer to work at the Office of the Prime Minister to work in Bahamas Investment Authority. That's where the office where all investments that come to the country has to come in through that department. And so I was able to work with a lot of investors, see how the money coming in the country, see what investors dealing with, work with them.
So you was really like tapped into like what's going on inside the country then, like people who trying to, so it's that like people like foreigners who want to say they want to start like a food business or whatever, then they would come, to your office.
Yeah, they got to come through there. And then after that, and I moved to my current job where I'm an investments and pensions supervisor at Providence Advisors. So, you know, during that time, I was able to pass my certified financial planner certification.
Shout out to you. Yeah, CFP, yeah.
CFP. So I did that. And so, like, you know, those are the stuff, you know, but it was a tough journey, like most things, you know, like it wasn't easy coming back home from school. You know, but, you know, we got to see it through, even though sometimes it don't look like it making sense. But give it time, I believe, and you'll eventually see the benefits of it.
All right. So I saw you, man. Sticking on the Bahamas, I saw you put together a post on one of your Instagram where you were speaking, I guess, in the House of Assembly at the age like 17. And then you just tapped into just being an investor, you know, all the investments in the Bahamas. So where did just your love for just the country start? You know what I mean? A lot of people don't have that love for the country. They just be complaining and stuff. But I know you be actually out there working, you know what I mean? I be seeing you in the community, doing a lot of community events, you know what I mean? You be doing your articles with the Nassau Guardian, what I want to tap into next. But just, where did your love for just the country start?
I would say, like, honestly, my love for the country really started with my father. You know, and your father saying, like, you know, when you talking about the country and you just talk about stuff. And so I grew up seeing my daddy talk about the country. Like, I love this country because of my daddy. Like, what he showed me, like, he used to tell me that's the best place on the world, the best place on the planet to live. And, you know, that was pretty much ingrained for me as a little boy. And, like, I just felt proud. And, you know, like, when you go off to school, and the minute you judge someone from the Bahamas, they say, what? Like, you know,
freaking right out.
Everyone freaking out. Like, what? You live there? And so for me, like, it was just something embedded in me. And so, like, I was in youth in parliament, like, when I was a COB. And so, like, you know, it really took me, and I realized, I was a person that realized that it's easy to complain and make noise from the outside. But the only way to change it, you got to get in the mix. Like, even though it's dirty and even though it's full of foolishness, but the only way you could change it, you got to go in it. Like if you just sit on the outside and complain, ain't nothing can change.
That's real, man. And so you getting in the mix, man. So I see you doing your you do little investment things inside the Nassau Guardian. You give little topics. You talk about little investments that we could start doing inside the Nassau Guardian. So just give us, where did that even just come about? Like, where did you even start thinking about that, and how did you even just put that into a plan? Getting in the mix, like you said.
But that's good because, like, you know, and it's all also about surrounding yourself around good, positive people. Like, having good friends in your life, good frat brothers. And so, like, one of my frat brothers, like, when I was transitioning from my old job to my new job, and one of my frat brothers, like, bro, like, I know you was writing and used to write or whatever. Why you don't just start writing articles, talk about investments, talk about financial planning and all of that? And I was like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. And so I wrote like a few articles. The Guardian told me, said they'll put it in the Friday paper. So at initial, I thought, I was like, okay, the Friday paper. No one is pick up or read the Friday paper. Like, you know, what are you doing this for?
But you can take that whole in.
I know, right? So I put it in, and man, the response from persons was phenomenal. Like people who I didn't even know was emailing me, messaging me, telling me we like these articles and everything. And over time, and the Guardian decided to move my articles to the Thursday paper, you know. And so that was a more bought paper, because, you know, on the Thursday paper, that's when the dead people is being the papers.
People come out, yeah. So people, all your Grammy them and picking them up.
Yeah. and so, but I just started. It was something that, you know, I always loved writing. And so it was like, okay, I could try it, and I really like it. And I feel as if it's something that is beneficial. Like to this day, like, it's something that I don't regret. And I'm happy that I did it.
All right, seeing, man. So we're going to take a break right now, man, and then we're going to get back into the mix right now. You locked in with your boy, DJ Roscoe, my boy, Quinton Lightbourne.
Yep.
You can drip or get drowned on it. Mini Draco, I just put a 50 round on it. Cooler kit, silencer, damn, ain't no sound on it. Turn face to a frown on it. Oh, whoa, I just been shining in rose gold. We in the street like hobos. I haven't booking no coke nose. They niggas sweeter than high and low. Can't have a hands, he beating the bowl. Playing the card, they were dealt to me. Living the life they were chose. Yeah. Yeah, I got up with a slut. She so Chanel belt, hold that fin up. I'm so King Tut, I'm the real Prince Slime. I'm so hope you niggas can put it on with these cold wicked.
Nutrition is like how I put them greens on your spine. I kept missing all your calls, cause bitch you got the other line. We been doubling them since Maybach, when Maybach can't make the sign. My dog like Oakley, Jordan, he just do I pay the fine. I ain't seen the sun in 7 days like I've been doing time. That's just how I got the back, can't build up when I'm on the LED be blinking on my phone and I ain't losing sleep. I told Shorty call your hoes, but they can't post when they with me. I don't bleed and sippin' Purple Rain with Prince and Lil Kid. I be feeling like I'm Michael Jackson when I hit it. My chain make a face reaction like they gotta sleep. All of them flashes, all another vehicle with the frog guys. I don't really fuck with niggas. They ain't from my side. You know I'm a real member. Bitch, I got mob ties. Leader of them fucking glizzards. Could get you all tied. Pull on mama so fine. She ain't with no time. Told it's time to hang it up. Yeah, like a clothesline. But she told me don't stop. I guess it's go time. I ain't come running down on you with the 4-5. Ballin' just like 23. But she wanna stun me. Gave her a little sample. I can't get this bitch from under me. Don't let nobody tell you you can't be whatever you wanna be. I wanna be a 9-figure nigga and I'm gonna be. Screen that girl worth M's. Promise you they gon' remember me. I know some bomb ass twins away down in Tennessee. Bitch, I'm really him. I was with all my enemies. She blew with the wind, couldn't let her kill my energy. Say what's poppin', dog. Bad watch how you poppin' off. I'm with the gang, we got them switches on them glass and stars. I left the game because they always get the cops involved. Now I'm in Malibu with baddies playing volleyball. I just bought another vehicle with the frog guys. I don't really fuck with niggas. They ain't from my side. You know I'm a real member. Bitch, I got mob ties. Leader of them fucking glizzards. Could get you all tied. Pull on mama so fine. She ain't with no time. Told it's time to hang it up. Yeah, like a clothesline. But she told me don't stop. I guess it's go time. I ain't come running down on you with the 4-5.
And I know what my gift is. And I know that I'm gifted. And I
I got a whole lot of people that's been counting on me. Got this bad little shawty going down on the dick.
I met shorty and we connected like the Wi-Fi. Hopped in the Phantom, disappeared like wildlife.
I told niggas that I would make it, they say no way. Watch them niggas that might eat up off of your plate.
They caught me sliding on the E-way with the heat on the seat. I got tennis chains with crosses, but I still keep a piece.
See, I was 12 years with a Tommy fit, 15 cracking Bobby bitch. I was 17 years on this earth when I popped the perk when my body itch. Need a pound of blow when I'm drawn to slow. I was down below, word to Roddy Rich. We was slap boxing, no karate kid. So to see the difference with a lot of shit.
And my grandma got a lot of kids. Bought which farm, no mileage is. Hit Sash Fifth and got a Prada fit, but I still got a lot of wallet
shit. Nigga, this the shit that I asked for. Remember last year I was mad poor. See my mama cry over homicide. Now she down the fly, she got a passport. And my brother locked for a back door. Got my grandmama new Jaguar. Big body whips like Shaq car. No credit check, straight cash card. Nigga, no stress, I progress. That's most deaf like Black Star.
Seen the future in my Audemars. Stack paper, don't do no facade.
I got a whole lot of people that's been counting on me. Got this bad little shawty going down on the dick.
I met shorty and we connected like the Wi-Fi. Hopped in the Phantom, disappeared like wildlife.
I told niggas that I would make it, they say no way. Watch them niggas that might eat up off of your plate.
They caught me sliding on the E-way with the heat on the seat. I got tennis chains with crosses, but I still keep a piece.
Big boss CEO on that Suge shit. I smoke that killer back to back on that Snoop shit. On that Dr. Dre shit, I'm still ruthless. Thug life outlaw, I'm on that pop shit. Pull the trigger, let it sing, I'm on that clock shit. For real though. I'm aiming for your top, bitch. For real though. Take them heels out before you jump up in this drop, bitch. She asked how much cost syrup in my cup, that's a lot, bitch. Ain't no more purple, so I'm drinking yellow snot, bitch. Got some choppers, got a plug, then I got rich. Cash that on 3 Lamborghinis just to pop shit. I brought the millions to the circle, nigga mob shit. I pray to God my son don't get cursed for some shit I did. I hit him in the chest and tell him that the world his. I put it all on the line cause I'm a gambler, nigga. Just bought my brother a motherfucking Phantom, little nigga. I kidnapped this bitch, she let her phone stay dead for 3 days. I just pulled a 8 walk in a picture of Kool-Aid. My barber get 100 every time I get a new fade. Blue Aventador, blue diamonds at the blue flame. Big boss CEO on that Suge shit. I smoke that killer back to back on that Snoop shit. On that Dr. Dre shit, I'm still ruthless. Thug life outlaw, I'm on that pop shit. Pull the trigger, let it sing, I'm on that clock shit. I'm aiming for your top, bitch. Take them heels out before you jump up in this drop, bitch. She asked how much cost up in my work, that's a lot, bitch.
Another exclusive track.
But I can't let a bro nigga beat. No, we for the streets. So when you see me, nigga, don't speak. Put him straight to sleep. I don't sell pussy, but this ain't cheap. Abracadabra, got rappers and trappers, yeah, I got some tricks on my sleeve. Drama, I'm with the shit. You want a problem, I want a hit. Oh, hoe ass trick, ass ready to snitch, ass simp, ass weak ass bitch. My DM is slutty, my AP is slutty, still wet this bitch up with the stick. Don't give a fuck, I'm running it up, big lotto, I pop my shit. Cause I'm a very freaky girl, get it from my mama. I'm not with the games, I'm without a drama. Make them give me brain in the front seat of the Hummer. Make them give me brain in the front seat of the Hummer. Cause I'm a very freaky girl, get it from my mama. I'm not with the games, I'm without a drama. Make them give me brain in the front seat of the Hummer. Make them give me brain in the front seat of the Hummer.
I said I need it, just go undefeated. Some blocking, then I'm bleeding. Go long, these bullets, he receive it. I can't see it. My wrist look like a snow cone, make her eat it. Once I see her, I give her that dope dick just like it's eaten. Then I leave her. I can't get caught up, I can't be on cheaters. Look at them people, you know what it is. Go put that dope up for they breaches. Before they breaches, I'ma get out this bitch and I'm striking, I'm throwing my heater. Whole lot of money and still it keep coming forever. I'm living my life like a Peter. Dope boy, I'm straight out the knife, I came up selling hard. Help run, I'm straight from the knife, I went bought me a dime. I dropped out the poacher and bought me a gun. We bought in the jet cause my dog got a one. But don't give a fuck when the stick will be gone. Moved up out that molly, I cover my guns. Sick got an eel on my aim on point. Shoot a neck Glock, give me pain in my joint. We shoot a 50 round drum, honey bun. I want 2 thoughts, I want both of they tongues. I know how to handle it, books on my damage. These niggas can't run, we gon' kill everyone. You know where I'm from, give a fuck how you come. Got a stick in the car and it sound like a bomb. I came in the bit with $1 million worth of cash. Like Bandicoot, we bout to crash. No remorse, I put 5 to your dad. Off the porch, bought a Porsche and I drag. Out the bill and them young niggas slide. Put up 30, now you do the math. If you sick on my son, I won't hide. Bullets rain, we give him a bath. I said I need it. This Draco undefeated. Trump blocking, then I'm bleeding. Go long, these bullets, he receive it. I can't see it. My wrist look like a snow cone, make her eat it. Once I see her, I give her that dope dick just like it's eating. Then I leave her. I can't get caught up, I can't be on cheaters. Look at them people, you know what it is. Go put that dope up for they breaches. Before they breaches, I'ma get out this bitch and I'm striking, I'm throwing my heater. Whole lot of money instead of
Yes.
You are now tuned into
With your boy Quinton Lightbourne, man. So Q, just like young Bahamians like me, you know what I mean? I see a lot of people on Twitter be like, man, they ain't know what to do with their money. You know, a lot of people just live home at the crib with their parents, you know what I mean? Some people just be stocking on that bread. So I want to know from you, like, how could we start investing our money? You know what I mean? I know a lot of people do Forex. Some people do crypto. I mean, I know, but I just want to get your views on which way you could just start investing our money.
Okay, well, that's a good thing. Like, I know Forex is a big thing right now. A lot of people in crypto is definitely the new trend. But see, I take sometimes, most times I take the conservative approach when it comes with investing, because I know for a lot of persons, once Bahamians make that decision to invest, it's something that they took a lot of time to save this money. So true. I'm a person, I'm not going to tell them invest in something that I think is too risky, because I don't want to be, the person or part of saying, okay, I tell you invest in this, and then when it go bottom up. And, of course, I have a heart. And so, always the first thing, what I tell persons, I think best start is look at mutual funds. They're relatively safe, they balance, and they seem to always give at least a steady return every year. It's very rare that you see a mutual fund take a hard or heavy hit. And that's why I tell them go with that first, to test the water, see if they like it. Down, if they say they like it and they want to do something else, then we look at all the other stuff. But the first time persons investing, I always tell them go the mutual fund route, because it's easier, simpler, and it gives you a good feel on investing first before you take those big ones.
So do you need to be making a certain, because someone like me now, when you say mutual fund, I'm thinking, I don't make enough money for a mutual fund. So I don't know. So and I know some of my listeners don't know. So someone, just a general person who work, not to say general person, but you may just be like a teller at the bank, you know what I mean? Just start fresh out. So can you get in a mutual fund like that? Or?
So mutual funds can start, there's some mutual funds that have a $500, some are $1,000. So I think, persons, we can find a $500 or $1,000. When you go away and when you do, you want to live, you can find $500 or $1,000 to make that initial investment. And it's something that it give you way more return than if you just leave your money in the bank, if you leave your money on a fixed deposit. So like I say, between $500 or $1,000, those are the mutual fund ranges locally in the Bahamas that you can definitely look at.
All right, seeing, man. So let's give it this transition over now. So now we're dealing with the big pandemic now, COVID-19. It's been going on all year. From the start now, we always thought, this is about to be 2 months. Then we thought we was going to get our summer. Yeah. Summer about to over now. We still on. The pandemic still going on, man. So I just want to get your thoughts now on how did you think the Bahamas, the government has handled the COVID-19 situation throughout the whole year?
Okay, well, I think, it's a very difficult situation for anyone. This is unprecedented event. There's never been a global pandemic and, in our lifetime where we've seen such chaos and such death, so the government obviously has been doing its part. Obviously, also the government has made some mistakes. And I think that's the situation right now. Bahamians, we are recovering as a society from some of the mistakes. Some mistakes were expected, because, it's an unprecedented situation. So moving forward, there's a lot of stuff that I think that governments need to continuously do to ensure the safety of the Bahamian public. I think there has to be a balance, and that's the great thing. You have to have that balance between maintaining the economy and also maintaining the health of the Bahamian people. Because if you totally shut down a country, you're cutting down your economic lifeline. And then also if you open up the country and open up everything, and you put, once again, your Bahamians, the health at risk. So it's finding that delicate balance that will be able to withstand and take us through this crazy time. And I think that's the duty of a government. That's the duty of leadership, being able to lead and find that perfect balance to lead the country through such a pandemic.
So that balance hard though. You know what I mean? So just talk about so like say I have a mom and pop, you know what I mean, shop, you know what I mean, and I reliant on this mom and pop shop, and now the COVID-19 thing shutting down and opening back up, you have a few workers now. They ain't getting paid because they ain't coming to work. So how is the financial situation just in the Bahamas right now in terms of just local businesses, you know what I mean? Like different shops, people who are on the side of the road, are they still able to even open up?
Yeah, so see, it's rough because sometimes there's a lockdown, and when the lockdowns, all shops, so food stores, pharmacies, and gas stations have been the three main ones that have been consistently being allowed to open. So fast food places haven't been allowed to open, but when they were, they had to do curbside. And so then, so the situation for most businesses is that the fluctuation, I'll give a perfect example. Like I have my barber, like technically, they cannot open because of, and so when they have been, they've had to do so much different protocols. And so it's very tough economically at this point in time for a lot of business owners. And I think that's the struggle. And then, with NIB, in terms of NIB persons being able to get unemployment. And then also like, NIB, the Deputy Prime Minister stated, I think a few weeks ago, that at the end of September, there may be some difficulty even paying persons unemployment in the country. So, so it's going to look, it's looking very grim right now. And so, see, that's the thing where as leaders and once persons enter political realms, I think the key is innovation. It's not just book smart or straight thinking. You have to be innovative and be able to come up with ideas to make things happen. And I think that's the difficulty right now. You have to be innovative to make things happen.
All right, so I have two spin-off questions I'm going to ask them 2 different times. So the first one is, you mentioned the NIB, and I didn't know that they may be having a hard time giving them out at the end of September, but I know I read a post from one of my friends, Kerrick Rose, shout out to him. I know he does finance, and he gave the post that the NIB may be replenished by, I think, 2023 or something like that. And so I know during the pandemic, a lot of people can't go to work, so the NIB contributions this year is going to be at minimal, to say the least. So coming up now, do we have to just worry about those who don't get their NIB now? So now the economy in the Bahamas now may be going down in the future. Do we have to worry about just the dollar value of the Bahamas even like devaluing?
So no, in terms of regards to that, I think definitely there's always going to be a concern that the dollar value may lessen. But it depends. The dollar value is based on our reserves in the central bank with our U.S. currency. So I think, from my, let's say limited knowledge from the outside looking in, is that I think our reserves from the central bank's perspective is rather healthy. So that won't affect our US dollar right away because the central bank has its reserve, which is totally separate from NIB. And because the NIB has, its contributions, what they've received from persons for all amount of years. Because see, the thing is, NIB contributions is not just for the unemployment. They have to pay out persons disability. They pay out paternity, females, all those stuff. So NIB is not just an unemployment situation. There's a lot of funds that go in, even funeral, death benefits. So all of those charges and all of those stuff that NIB pays on a monthly basis is even now being exacerbated even more unemployment. And so that's the issue right there. But I think, I definitely believe at this point, the US dollar, our dollar to dollar value with the US dollar is relatively safe. But definitely if this pandemic continues, then we're definitely going to look at, some difficulties with that.
All right, seeing. So now, back in innovation now. So I know you had an article about how we could diversify the economy down in the southern end of the Bahamas, but just innovation now, we can't be much so reliant on tourism right now. So then what other ways can we be innovative inside the Bahamas where we could actually get some money flowing inside the country during this time? And even in the future, you know what I mean? Yeah, no, for me, I definitely think that silver lining, or that what we must tap into as a country, we have to tap into our natural resources. I mean, in the Southern Islands, there's salt in abundance. As we know, Morton salt is down in Inagua. We have sisal. Sisal is a plant that's used to produce Campari and liquor and different fragrances and stuff.
It's found in abundance in Auckland and Cricket Island. And so these islands are, vastly, like maybe 1,000 people. I don't even think 1,000 people live in Auckland. You know what I mean? So definitely no, not 1,000. 1,000 people does not live in Auckland. And so there's a lot of land there that's untapped that we can possibly use for manufacturing plants, ensure that we get and return money from our natural resources. A big thing that I also look at aragonite. In North Andros, there was, they plan to, and they are encouraging international investor to look at an aragonite plant in North Andros, which I think, in my opinion, is stupid because this is a natural resource of the country. And I think it should be nationalized. I think it should be nationalized and we should be able to run it and reap benefits of it. I compare it like to the oil fields in the Middle East. Ain't no American or foreign investor could go in the oil fields or the desert in the Middle East and talk about, we want to mine for oil and then we make money from it. Like, it would never happen. So I don't know why we should even entertain foreign investors. And I understand the importance that we have for foreign direct investors. We need that. But for certain industries and certain natural resources, that should not even be a question, in my opinion.
So things like that, who is responsible for that? Or then how, not even say who's responsible, but how do we make things like that like public knowledge? I know just me living in the States, I know things like that's in the newspaper and that's in the news, so you can get like citizens to be like, hey, they're doing something for and this is not right. You know what I mean? Just criticize them, like how do we get those type of knowledge? Criticize so people in the country would be like, hey, this ain't right. Like we need to just get the knowledge out more. So we say, how does that happen?
So see, stuff like that happens, and it has to come from medians like yourself, because see, most persons our generation, we're not gonna buy this newspaper and read this whole thing. We're gonna watch podcasts. We're gonna listen to a little clip on Instagram or Twitter and stuff like that. That is how the information has to get out. And I think and I commend persons in our generation by taking steps forward to make these things happen, because that is the only way more and more persons are going to know about it. Like definitely like Twitter and Instagram, these are mediums where a lot of young Bahamians and young persons view and get their information from. And so it takes persons like yourselves and persons in the media that's going to push that information out there. And so the general Bahamian public can know what's going on, because, knowledge is key. And some things happen just because Bahamians don't know. Yep.
Because most things happen because Bahamians don't know. They'd be like, what's going on? And I'd be like, why doesn't even no one know that this is about to happen? Like, y'all had so much time to complain about it until it happened.
Yep.
But I guess the information don't go up. But I just see like the last question I got, actually, I just saw the CDC, they just lift the ban on the 14-day quarantine. And so that might have some effect on the country. So do you think that we should even just entertain foreigners coming into the country? Are foreigners able to come to the country right now?
Yeah, so in flights are allowed to come in. Flights are allowed to come in. There's a process where they have to be quarantined for the 14-day period, and they have to take a COVID test, I think, within 72 hours of traveling home, but coming to the Bahamas. And so that's the current process right now. I definitely don't believe that we as a country right now, where we're standing with the numbers continuously rising and the death toll is continually rising, that we should taking our foot off the pedal at this point. I still believe we should keep our 14-day quarantine period, because there's still just a level of uncertainty in the Bahamas right now. And like I say, the cases are continuously rising. And, when I listen to the news and I see Bahamians dying, and when there was a nurse that died, and, I heard a troubling voice note, that really touched my heart when she was talking to her friend. And she said one of her daughters saw her when she was vomiting because of COVID. And one of her children asked her, "Are you going to die, mommy?" And she told her child, say, "No, mommy ain't gonna die." And then 2 days later, then she passed away. Ooh. So it's hard when you see stuff like that. And so it's something that I don't think we could take our feet off the gas right now. We have to try to contain it as best as we can. And one person's come in, our protocols can't change for them. We have to stay firm to what we're doing.
That's cool, man. But I just thank you for even just coming on the podcast, man. Q, man. It's been a pleasure, man, just to have you, man, get your insight. But you've been logged into Watch the Vision Radio with your boy DJ Roscoe, my man, Quinton Lightbourne. Yeah.
Yeah.
You are now tuned into
Watch the Vision Radio.
Got the police busting at me, but they can't do nothing to me.
Driven in plus cars, this life is a rap star. It's nothing without God. Was born rough and rugged. Addressing the man public, my attitude was fuck it. These motherfuckers love it to be a soldier. Must maintain composure at ease. Don't like it's complicated. Only what you make it to be. And my ambitions as a rider, the capture while she hot and horns go up inside her. Then I slip some game in the ear, go to the telly ho. You quick with money in the bin, cause bitch I'm belly broke. I'm smoking bomb ass weed for the crew. From playing and playing the game.
I'm feeling good, nigga. Because I'm in Baton Rouge doing my fucking thing, nigga. I'm out here making it fanny, nigga. Now don't brush my fucking shoulders off, nigga. I pull up at the club, VIP, gas tank on, even all drinks on me. Wipe it out. Fresh kicks, fresh white, tall teeth, fresh NFL hat, fresh bows with the crease. Wipe it out. Pussy niggas wanna hit me with the heat. Real recognize, real niggas don't speak. Wipe it out. Chicken laden, I've been rolling by the week. You can tell I got cake by the diamonds in my feet. Wipe it out. Black shade, so you know a nigga rolling. They ain't check man at the door, so ain't no telling what I'm holding. Wipe it out. Bad bitches, they gon' bust it wide open. Niggas flashing in the grave, but I'm the nigga they approach. Wipe it out. Small niggas, tall figures, y'all niggas, raw niggas. We gon' get Mac 11s and dog niggas. Wipe it out. Y'all niggas, call niggas, but my nigga all killers. Get your itchy and whoever fall with you. Wipe it out. Wipe it out. Time on, 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 wipe it out. Time show, wipe it out. Time pan, wipe it out. Time show, wipe it out. Time pan, wipe it out. Time show, wipe it out. Time pan, wipe it out. Time show, wipe it out. Time pan, wipe it out.
On my mama, on my hood, I look fly, I look good. Touch my swag, this shit cool. I look fly, I look good. Ragged on since a kid, how will I survive this? Watch how I step out and go to live. I'm probably not the finest, probably not the flyest, but then again I might be depending on your bias. Haters will deny this and bump on the low. Looking at me funny when I walk through the door, cause I rock a 4X and my waist a 4-4. But my fat boy swag make your size zero. Shout it, say whoa. The grind pays off. No time to lay off. Get it. That's why I look good from the kicks to the finish, man. And I put that on my mama, on my hood. I look fly, I look good. Touch my swag, this shit good. I look fly, I look good. I look good, I look good. I look good, I look good. I look good, I look good. Charlie boy, what's up?
Watch the Vision.